And we are live. Thank you and welcome to the big show. I'm Big Will. And as always with me, we have Jeffrey KomiKHAN Henson.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yep. Now, I don't know if we have anyone in the chat at the moment, and we were off last weekend because you were in recovery mode from your
Yeah,
adventure
man.
at WonderCon.
Yeah, I was probably been on the bus at this time last weekend. What's up, Bake? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Bake the Snake. So we were kind of talking off air before we came on, and the reason we started a couple minutes early is because we kind of got into a conversation. I was like, this needs to be live. But we were talking about how his experience was at WonderCon, not necessarily the experience of seeing all the creators and getting books and stuff, but just the logistic experience. Because I know the first time I went to a big convention, it was Dragon Con, and it's in 5 different hotels. And I had to figure out what's in what hotel, where do I go, how to do the elevator, all that kind of. Hey, comic collector, hey man, how you doing?
Hey.
And all that kind of good stuff. So I was asking Jeffrey what the logistics were. He said they had lanyard badges like this one here that you wore around your neck. But yet, even though Kate and Charlie, who he went with, because remember he was with John's Comics with Kids, they were free. They didn't have to pay to get in because they were young enough, but you still had to get badges for them, right?
Yeah, correct. So for each paying ticket, you got one child free. So kids 13 and under were free with a paying adult. So with me having my paid ticket and John having his paid ticket, we could get the 2 kids in for free. And the thing was, we had our tickets, out ready to go, and we tried to walk in the door, and then the lady was like, "Oh no, you have to go get the kids' badges too." So we had to walk all the way around the building and go wait in line to get the kids' badges because we did, this is really the first major convention we'd been to, so we didn't know anything about that. So you got to imagine that if you've got what 30,000 paying customers and 60% of them have kids, that really brings the number up even more to the amount of people that are there.
Oh yeah, and hey, that's a good idea, Beck. Comic Books NYC dropped in. Did
Hey,
you
what's
were you
up,
able
guys?
to
Good to see you all.
were you able to use the kids to get any cool free stuff?
No, we weren't. There were, I don't know if there was a lot of free stuff, but I honestly didn't see anything there free. We got like a little press package, or not press package, but a little bag with like a book, that magazine thing that tells you about WonderCon with a bookmark and like a little, you
Yeah,
know,
like a guidebook goodie bag,
exactly,
welcome bag.
yeah, uh-huh. They had your lanyard for your ticket and everything in it.
Okay. Looks like we got White Will in here. Hey
What's
yo.
up, Alec?
Now, Comic Books NYC says some people call WonderCon Cosplay Con, and that's something I haven't heard you or John really talk about, other than that the girls really loved looking at the cosplay. Was how much was all the cosplay? Like, was it the main focus of the show? Was it comics? Was it media? Like, how was it split up between comics, cosplay, movies, and TV?
I think it depends on what you're honestly there for. Because there was a decent amount of people that are probably there just for like the comics or the toys, those kinds of things. And then there was a lot of cosplayers, but a lot of the cosplayers spent a lot of the time out in front of the arena because it was a big arena, and they had a bunch of stuff set up outside where all the cosplayers were out taking pictures and everything. And then you'd see them walking around inside with like, um, groups together and stuff like that. And then you got like, because it was all set up in different sections. Like the comic books were all in one section, which is where I spent most of my time. And then they had like the artist and writers alley where they were signing autographs and things like that. And then they had another section that was just like art for sale. And then they had another section that was just like all toys, action figures, like T-shirts, goodies, like whatever you want to call them. People selling like anything superhero related, stuff like that. And they had like a food court in one section. And then, like I said, outside was where a lot of the cosplayers were taking pictures. And then they had like the food trucks and stuff like that out there.
Okay, so not to get off topic, but Stacy's weekly comic book picks just dropped in.
Hey, Stacy.
Did you watch the video?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we were able to make you happy there. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for doing a
man.
video of it.
Pick some good books to send them, I think, there.
Oh, I tried. But so was there a parade of any kind?
There was, but I don't think that we were there long enough to see it. We got there at 9 a.m. and we left at 5:30, and I think the parade was at like 8 p.m. because they had stuff
Okay.
going on all the way up till midnight that night. At midnight, they were doing like a special screening for like a movie and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So
I asked because the big convention I go to has a what I just said it. What was the word?
parade.
Yeah, thank you. Has a parade every year. Now, is there a contest for the cosplay? Like, do people just happen to be there in cosplay, or is there a specific reason, like contest?
Yeah, there's a contest, and again, that was later in the evening. That we didn't stick around for it, but they had a whole room where they go in and have everybody judged and everything like that.
Okay. Now, was there a? I heard a story. I can't remember if it was on Instagram or something else that you saw some pretty scary, frightful cosplay.
Yeah, for sure. There was one. The most memorable one was a Magneto. There was a guy dressed up as Magneto, and all he was wearing was the helmet with the cape attached to it and a red thong. So that was pretty crazy, I
So he
guess, you know.
wasn't Magneto, he was Magneto.
Exactly. That's one of those images that you see that you wish you hadn't seen, you know. So yeah. And there was some, some women there that were dressed pretty scantily clad. There was one girl, she'd cosplayed as Hellboy, and she was just had a bunch of red body paint on with nothing. She had a piece of tape over her little breast parts, and that was about it. So there were some intense cosplayers, some women in bikinis, and bunch
Yeah,
of bunch of girls, a power girl, you know. So
yeah. There was a contest at an aquarium that, for some strange reason, Michael Rosenbaum, the Lex Luthor from Smallville, was the judge, and for some reason there were these two girls that I could not tell what they were dressed as, but they were just in bikinis.
yeah, there's quite a few of those. Honestly, they were
It's
dressed
like,
in.
do you just want an excuse to wear a bikini in a regular, normal setting where you don't? I mean, are you
Yeah,
actually trying to do like the sexy housemaid or something? I don't understand.
yeah, I know. I was feeling the same way. I
I
was
mean,
talking
I
to John.
enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yes, there was plenty of those, and I'd be looking at John, and I'd be like, "Who are they supposed to be?" And he'd just be like, "I don't even know." So I think the thing with that is, I think a lot of people do the anime cosplay too, which is a little out of my league. I'm not very familiar with anime and certain things like that, so I think there was a lot of like anime cosplayers as well as the comic book stuff. So.
why Will says they're probably IG models or something. I believe it. And the gray man says I should feel free to wear a bikini anywhere I'd like. Thank you, gray man. That's exactly the confirmation I was looking for.
Yes. Right. But yeah, I mean, there was it was all over the place as far as cosplay. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
lot of guys that were dressed up as female characters, a lot of girls that were dressed up as the male characters, and
So that
like
that either works really well or is horrible when you gender band it.
it was. And you know what? The thing was, there was nobody dressed up as Storm, which is one of my personal favorites, except for one guy. And I gotta admit, like he kind of pulled it off. Like he was doing the Mohawk Storm, and like if you didn't know Storm was a chick, you probably would be like, oh, that's a pretty cool outfit. But there was a lot of other ones that were just bad too. There was a guy dressed up as Tigra. He was walking around in a thong with yellow body paint all over, and I mean, some, like you said, some are just hit or miss. And there's even some people that are dressed up as like regular characters. There are a couple guys dressed up as Wolverine that was just, it was just absurd. It was just bad, like.
I love the fat Wolverines. I would be one of those if I was dressed up. So that's why I don't cosplay. But I
Right.
love that.
Yeah, and then there were some other ones that you're just like, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I think if I were to cosplay, I would want to go the humor route. So I would do a Wolverine with like little bitty claws that barely protrude. I would have a crop top on,
yeah.
that was just hanging out, and just like hot pants
Oh,
and
there were
just
some
straight
girls
up.
there that looked like that. Yeah. No, for
Uh,
sure.
yeah, Bake says Atlanta has the largest aquarium in the U.S., maybe the world. Not sure about that. It's top three in the world, and it's also one of I think two that actually has whale sharks in it.
I read it, Perry. I read it this morning.
Was it good?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's kind of like what I was. I mean, after the first issue, I was kind of expecting this kind of type of a thing to happen because at first, Hulk, Wolverine, and Weapon H are all kind of like fighting amongst each other. You know what I mean? But towards the middle-ish end of this book, they're basically all on the same side, trying to figure out how to stop the leader and what's going on, why they were all brought
Yeah.
together to try to kill each other. So it's
Uh, so another question I was wanting to ask, and I've been wanting to ask for a while, is when you were at the convention, I know you used folios. You had one. I sent you one, and
three.
then I sent you a really big one. And if you didn't use it at all, don't worry about
No,
it. But
no, I'll tell you
if you
what,
used it, was
I
it
did.
useful? Because I did not know those were that big.
It was very useful. It was perfect. I filled my first two portfolios, and then I started buying some of these books, and they had them in these plastic mylars, and they did not fit in the regular folios. So they fit perfectly in the big ones, though. So it was very good that I ended up taking those with me. And
Well, I'm
being
glad.
on the yeah, being on the train, having my backpack, it was cramped, very cramped space. I had people sitting next to me with suitcases, and some of the stuff that I brought that were not comic books ended up getting kind of smashed up. So I'm definitely glad that I had them because I'm sure my books
Yeah,
would have
and
been.
for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, is I didn't realize the magazine or golden age size folios were so big. This is how big they are. See how thick that is? It's so big that it actually will fit a normal comic folio inside of it. That's how huge these things are. So I was wanting to know if it was just awkward more than anything, or if it was actually useful to him, because
Oh,
I'll be bringing it at my next convention if he has it useful. And it sounds like it was useful for you.
very useful. If you're buying anything, because I also bought some regular size comics in some regular bags and boards, and those fit fine in the little ones. But if you're getting anything like in the Mylar or the golden, or not golden age, but the older books and the Mylar bags, you're definitely going to want to have a bigger one because they do not fit very well with that Mylar and the regular ones.
Yeah, the reason I bought I was planning on buying the one. I accidentally bought two. That's how I wound up sending them to him. But the reason I bought the one was I was using a regular folio, and I had a comic that I bought in a top loader, and it didn't close all the way. I wound up bending the loader, and I didn't like that.
That's exactly how this one would have been. I tried putting it in a regular one first, and when I went to shut it, it kind of pinched the edge of the Mylar, and I was like, I just don't feel good about doing that, so I'll put it in the bigger one, and that
Yeah.
one worked perfectly.
No, Bake, the regular comic folios don't fit top loaders very well. I mean, you can close it, but it's going to hit against the top loader and bend it ever so slightly. And I just don't like risking my comics like that.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, JP, good to see you.
Yeah,
JP's
looks like we
budget
got a bunch of new
collecting.
people in. Why don't we give
Yeah,
them a hi?
for sure. Comic collector, you said what's up to him. Good to see you today, buddy. Hope you're having a good one. We've also got our boy Whitewell, Stacy's Weekly Comics, Comic Books NYC, Bake the Snake, Perry Comics, man. Good to see you. I was thinking about you this morning, and I was like, you know what? Before my live show with Big Will, I gotta read this Hulk Marines issue #2 in case Perry shows up. So definitely been thinking about that. Gray Man, good to see you. Khan, what's going on, my man? Hope you're having a good Sunday. JP's budget collecting. What's up, JP? Hope you're doing good. Oh, Sam's Tangled Web. What's going on, Sam? We got C Woodard. C Woodard, what's up, man? Good to see you. It's been too long. Probe 186. What's up, Probe? Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope everybody's having a good weekend today.
So I know you bought books. Did you buy any artwork or get anything drawn?
I did not. I got a couple signatures, and that was about it. There was a lot of lines for autographs and signatures, and they were capping it off, and I didn't get over in time to get some other ones. And as far as artwork, I didn't get any artwork. I bought a Funko Pop, my first and only one, but it's the Venomized Hulk. I kind of like that one. Been looking for it. So
I have an inner child. If I buy one, I'd want to take it out and play with it.
yeah, I don't take anything out of the box. As a kid, I used to destroy all my toys, and I feel so bad about it because I had so many, you know. And now it's just like, oh, I get it. I'm like, oh, I can't take it out of the box. Something might happen to it, something, you know. So, but other than that, I picked up a lot of books, and that was pretty much my budget right there with the books. So
yeah, apparently John didn't realize, kind of like I didn't realize, that 105 and Immortal Hulk 1 have the cover swipe.
right.
But I saw on Instagram there's another Hulk book that has the cover swipe as well.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to try and get that one too. That way I can have them all.
Right, for sure. That would definitely be a cool collection to have.
You probably already got all three though, don't you?
I don't think so. I think I just have two now.
Let's
I
see.
think the other, I'm not sure, but I think
screenshot of that one so I would know what it is. Let me
is
pull
it
it
an
up.
annual? For some reason, I'm thinking it's an annual Incredible Hulk annual, but
It is Marvel Superheroes featuring the Incredible Hulk number 59.
okay.
All right. So another thing I was wanting to do today is, for anyone that didn't catch it, I wanted to get with someone, you know, that I don't normally work with. No, I mean, Jeff's great, but I got with the Comic Smurf, and I unboxed, well, sort of unboxed all my books I got from CGC. And when we went off air, I showed him all the books that I was planning on getting graded the next round. So I thought I'd go through and see what your guys' opinion is on the books I have here in my Man of War comic folio that I plan on getting graded this next round. Now, what I just sent that's already at CGC now is Brave and the Bold 54, first appearance of the new Teen Titans, and I believe my Incredible Hulk 102. Those are the two that are not here because they're already there. But what I have here, get some opinions on, is you know, being a Wolverine fan, I got to do this one.
Yeah, right, for sure.
I mean, yeah, that's
a must, right?
Yeah. And then of course you got to have this one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wolverine
340.
And then this one's actually hard to find, believe it or not.
Are you there, Big Will? Can you guys hear me in the chat? I think we lost Big Will.
What was that?
Oh, are you there?
Yeah. I don't know what happened though. That was weird. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you how about now? Big Will just popped back on my screen. Can you guys see both of us again or no?
Yeah. I got the chat up again too. Wow. That was weird. Let's hope that don't happen again. Anyway, this one's kind of hard to find. Wolverine number 1, but it's hard to find because it's the newsstand. So I want to get that one graded.
Nice.
Let's see here. Then I have another copy of Wolverine number 1 because I'm me. Looks like they only see me at the bottom.
Do you have it clicked on my picture?
I don't have it clicked on anything. I don't.
Okay.
I do the Google Hangouts, and I
Is it
pop out the chat, so I don't actually have the other one
okay?
loaded up at all. I'll get it here in just a second.
Okay, it's working now. I think everybody says it's fixed. All right, cool. What's up, Just a Rican Comic Noob? How you doing? Good to see you guys, man. Hope you're having a good day, Rod, man.
Weird.
Mike Johnson, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Good to see you.
Oh,
KomiKHAN, what up?
Oh, KomiKHAN's here. Comic.
Yeah.
Noob? Wow, everybody's coming in.
Nice. Thank you guys. Appreciate
Anyway,
it.
then I have my copy of 105.
Yeah.
Want to get that one graded.
Bum, bum, bum.
Good night. I think yours is better than mine.
Dude, I seriously thought I was getting burned on the price I paid for mine. And then I walked around a couple other booths that had it, and they were all selling it for like 150. And I was like, oh.
I paid $50 for mine, and it's probably maybe a 6 at the highest.
You know what? I paid $50 for mine, and I was gonna say it's probably in the range of a 5 to a 6. So.
Okay, well that sounds pretty good. And then because of the Comic Smurf, I have this now that I want to get graded.
Nice.
Mortal Hulk #5.
Hi, Delphia. Hope you're having a good weekend. Lawrence, good to see you too. Hope you're doing good.
You know why I want to get this one graded?
Yeah, I sure do. First book right there.
Yep. Then
Discovery
I have another
Bay.
copy of this one.
Nice.
And it looks like it's going to do a lot better than the last one.
Hey.
So I should be okay there. And then if you got to have Immortal Hulk #5, or you got to have
Absolutely. What's up, Edwin? Good to see you, man. Hope everything went good yesterday. Missed you on the show, but you know, we'll get Reggie back on and have you on with us again. Good to see you.
And then the last one, #2.
Yeah.
For Immortal Hulk. And as of right now, those are the only books I'm going to be getting graded next. And then when I get through grading them, I'll actually start buying new books. And when I say buy new books, I'm not counting what I have, you know, at the shop in my box that I go and I pick up, you know, as you know, regular for cover price. I'm talking like specialty stuff. So you disagree with any of those, chat, Jeffrey?
I mean, the only one that would be somewhat questionable maybe is that Immortal Hulk 5. I'm not sure if it would be worth the money to get it graded, but if it's something you want to get graded, then I don't see any reason why you shouldn't.
Well, I want to get a bunch of Golden Age stuff that I have graded, but I'm trying to get, you know, 4 or 5 of those together and then send them all off at once.
Right.
But yeah, like I have an EC comic that's you know, from the 50s, the Entertainment comic.
Right.
And then before that, they were an educational comic, EC. That's what it stood for.
Oh, wow.
So I want to get this graded. It's EC, the original EC comic.
That's cool. Have you opened that book up?
Yeah, I've opened it up and looked through it. It's pretty nice, man.
What stories are in it? Is it like 3 different stories, 3 or 4 different stories or something?
No, it's the New Testament edition #3, picture stories from the Bible. These are all from like Acts and the New Testament books of the Bible. They just put it in picture form.
That's super cool. There was and like when I was a kid, I used to watch these videos, and it was called like Adventure Stories or Greatest Tales from the Bible or something like that. It reminded me of that. That's cool.
Yeah, and Whitewell, I know that's my main reason for going ahead and getting #5 graded. Plus, those 3 I showed you are the only 3 I have.
Yeah.
So I figured might as well get them all graded, because as far as reading the thing, I'm waiting for the trades. I just read the trades. I got the first one. I don't think the second one's quite come out. I'll get it, and then so on.
For sure. I mean, you never know about that series either. It's just keeps going up in price, which is crazy.
And speaking of price, if you don't want to tell me, that's fine. But I'm curious. When did you buy? How far in advance did you buy your WonderCon tickets? And for that kind of convention, how much were they?
I bought mine in January, and they had a deal where if you bought it before, I think it was Valentine's Day. So if you bought your ticket before February 14th, it was $30. And if you bought it after February 14th, it was $50. So it went up $15. So
Now, did you buy the full pass or the one Saturday day?
I just bought the one Saturday pass.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking because off air I was telling Jeffrey that I tried to buy mine. As soon as the first con ends, buy it for the next one the next year. So by doing that, I got a 5-day pass for $80, and then of course the longer you wait, the closer to the convention, it keeps going up. Like if I were to buy it in July, which I did the first time because I just found out about it in July when I went for the first time, is like $150.
Right.
And for the 5 days, and that was July, August, September. It was in the first week of September, and then of course at the door it was even more expensive for the full 5 days.
Yeah, it was sold out. They weren't selling tickets at the door for WonderCon, but the thing was we weren't sure if we were going to be able to go, and because I probably wasn't going to take that big of a trip by myself. Like honestly, I wouldn't have been able to afford a trip like that by myself because I had to go get a hotel and all that stuff. And but with John being able to go and offering me a place to stay is what actually made it affordable. So once we figured out that we were both going to be able to make it and go, we picked one day and went from that. But we're talking next year if we go, we definitely want to try and get there on a Friday because especially after talking to Reggie and him saying that there's hardly anybody there because we were trying to see a few more of the writers and artists, but the lines were ridiculous. It was so crazy.
And that, Gray Man, is why you do more than a day or two when you can afford it. It's because you have all the lines and everything else, and
I'm gonna tell you, like he hit it right on the spot, Gray Man. You did. Like we got there about 9 o'clock, and about 12:30, 1 o'clock, I was having a lot of problems. I was super sore. My leg hurt. I've got a replaced hip, and it was giving me a lot of trouble after a few hours because I was in rush mode. Like I got in the door and I was just trying to run around. I was trying to find the booths that had the comic books. I was trying to find the booths that had the best prices. And then I was going back and picking out the ones that I wanted. And it is a lot. It's a lot to get around to. That would be a big benefit of being there for multiple days, is you could kind of figure out where everything was, maybe day one and stuff, and then day two kind of go and check everything out a little bit more. Did we lose you again, Big Will?
We had a big storm last night, and I think it might be messing with my internet. That's probably the deal.
Probably so. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one thing we always did was we would have the first day we figured out where the crap everything was, and then the next few days we'd be like, okay, our target is like getting books this day. Our target is getting things signed this day, or our target's meeting celebrities this day, or whatever. And then we did that, and then we went home. Or when I say home, I meant the hotel that we were at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you don't have to just stay there the entire time to get everything done. That's why I like doing that. And you also kind of learn after you go to some conventions, you need a bag, you need your comic folio or whatever. You need a tube if you're going to be buying art. You're going to need a tube. It'd be nice to have some snacks, definitely some bottled water. And also, one thing you might want to look into is maybe, especially if you have a replaced hip or your bad legs or knees, maybe a collapsible chair or stool.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing, food. Take your own food, snacks, something. It's super great. WonderCon was super crazy expensive, like no joke.
Yeah. Looks like KomiKHAN says we always buy our Dragon Con tickets a week or two after it happens for the following year, and it's half price. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is you do it as soon as you can if you know you're wanting to come back, and then you can buy it. And if you lose your money or you can't sell it, but for what you paid, you're not out, as much money. And we
Yeah.
also pace ourselves for the weekend, he says.
Yeah,
And
deodorant too, right, Wood?
yeah. And JP says, yeah, 3 days of Planet was rough. Can't imagine 5 days, 2 days of celebration next weekend. The food usually sucks inside. Well, for Dragon Con, they bring in like Papa John's.
Well,
Stuff like that.
WonderCon they brought in a bunch of like food trucks, right?
Yeah.
And
And
there's probably like a dozen of them. And I walked around and was checking them all out. The prices were insane. I bought a hamburger, it cost me $21. No
and
joke. That's the cheapest one. They were all the same price. It's not like I went to like
that's what I love about being in the South with things like my convention that I went to in Huntsville, and then the Dragon Con is when you go to a store in the area. Yeah, it's expensive, but to me, expensive isn't $21. Expensive is like $8. So,
yeah.
so it's
I
not
wish I would have
much,
paid $8 for a hamburger. And at that point, it's like I was starving. I didn't think about taking any snacks with me, and I was like, you know what? I need food because I'm losing my mind. So it's yeah.
And one thing I want to ask is, at any point, did you start sniffing and smell something awful and realize it was another human being?
Dude, I tell you what, this convention center straight smelled like weed, like marijuana.
That,
Everywhere you walked around, as soon as we walked in, that was like all I smelled was like weed here, weed, weed. That was the whole place just reeked of it. I was doing a live chat on John's Instagram channel, and I was talking to some of the people, and I was telling them, man, there must be people must be walking around with weed in their pockets. The whole place smelled like it. That was the biggest thing I smelled everywhere.
yeah. That's another thing I would suggest that most people don't think about is that first off, wear deodorant for yourself, you know, but other people, you can't make them put on deodorant and stuff like that. So it's nice to make sure you have Purell or something similar, and make
Hand
sure you have
sanitizer. You might want to take some hand sanitizer or
yeah,
something with
something
you.
similar to Purell, any kind of hand sanitizer, and also chewing gum or mints or something that'll help take the smell away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did have a pocket full of mints. That was one thing.
Because you just can't. Rule one: people are stupid. So there's going to be a bunch of people there. Some of them in cosplay that forget the deodorant, and like for the cosplayers, a lot of times they have stuff they wouldn't normally wear, so they're hotter than you and I would be out of cosplay,
Oh,
and they don't exactly have pockets unless they're playing any Liefeld character, in which case they have pockets everywhere.
let me tell you,
So,
man, there were people dressed up in these costumes that I probably would have died in. Like Chewbacca from Star Wars, there were a few people dressed up as him. You know, there's some people dressed up in like as characters with big trench coats and masks on, stormtroopers, things like that. I mean, I don't know how people do some of that stuff.
yeah, and Delphia and KomiKHAN can tell us. They can tell us if I'm right or not. But the smart cosplayers wear their costumes and compete at specific times and specific lengths of time, whereas the inexperienced ones forget the extra deodorant in a bag that they keep somewhere, or they wear their costume the whole time and keep forgetting about it.
Right. So another thing that was, I mean, I wouldn't say like upsetting, but it was kind of disappointing was there were some people like artists and writers and stuff that were actually at the convention that were not advertised to be at the convention. Rob Liefeld was there. Not that that was a huge disappointment, but he was not. They did not do any advertising for him. And then Marv Wolfman was also there, and they did not do any advertising for Marv Wolfman. And that was a little disappointing, more so than Marv Wolfman, because I would have definitely taken some of my new Teen Titans issues to get signed by him, especially because you walked by and there was not a line for Marv Wolfman. You could have just walked right up to him and
Now,
got a signature.
I don't mean to cut you off there, Jeffrey, but while I'm thinking about it, I want to ask. We actually, as long as he's still able, I'll double check midweek. We're going to have Bueller on next weekend.
Nice.
I'll have to double check and make sure the midweek. But I was wondering the following week, KomiKHAN, Delphia, would you guys want to be on? So you could teach everybody about cosplay? Because I mean, I'm
Hey, looks like Big Will is having some technical issues. Comic Books NYC, that is, I think, 100% correct, because I did ask around a little bit about why they were not advertised to be at the show, and some people said that it is because they are local and that they can just kind of show up to that convention, which, I mean, I guess is something you learn by going to the convention, right? Like, so next year, if I go again, I'll know that Rob Liefeld and Marv Wolfman will probably be there, or at least there will be a good chance that they will be there.
I have returned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how much did you hear before I got cut off of my question?
Basically, you got to the point where you were inviting Delphia and KomiKHAN on to talk about their.
Yeah, I was wanting to know if they would come on not next week, but the next one to talk about cosplay. Because I mean, we're talking about it, but neither one of us have done it, have any want to do it. You know, we're total noobs and don't really know what we're talking about. So
Yeah, and you know the thing with cosplaying is like I'm not like I know some people are like against it, like they don't think it belongs, whatever. I enjoy it. And part of the thing for me is I do not want to cosplay if I'm just throwing a piece of crap together. If I was going to cosplay, I would want to have a seriously awesome costume, you know, and it's not cheap to do something like that. So
no, I have read stories where people take more than a year to make their costume for this one like big uh, convention or something. So
right.
yeah, there's a lot of work and dedication that goes into it.
For sure. So that would definitely be cool to get you guys on here and
Yeah,
talk
one
about
reason
it.
why this fat man does not want to do it.
Yeah, great, man. I should just paint my body in some green paint and go walking around in my underwear. You know what's funny is somebody was trying to get me to dress up as Hulk, and I was like, if you guys want to see it, I'll do it if enough people tell me to cosplay as Hulk. But I don't know how that would
Everyone
work
tell
out.
him to cosplay as Hulk
Oh
right
no.
now.
Yeah, no. Oh man, right? But yeah, so I mean, cosplaying is cool. I think I really enjoy watching everybody do it.
Yeah. So you were before I went into I don't know where I went. Uh, you had mentioned before I cut you off about Marv Wolfman and all. You wish you had known they were there.
Yeah, and
Well,
Comic
what
Books
I
NYC commented that they are local and they kind of
yeah
can just show up, which is what I because I had asked a couple people. I was like, well, why wouldn't you advertise Rob Liefeld and Marv Wolfman being
yeah
at a convention like this? And like, well, they're just local, so they kind of can just show up and do it. But it's still
I,
like,
I see their point, but still, it's Rob Liefeld and Marv Wolfman. But what I
yeah,
try to do to go against that is check not only the convention website, but if I have certain books that I would like to get signed that I already have, like if I already had a Teen Titans #1, I would do. I would look up, hey, is Marv Wolfman or is George Perez doing any conventions in the area, and look on their website because
right.
if the con doesn't advertise, they probably will.
Right, because Jim Lee was there, and they didn't even add Jim Lee to the WonderCon lineup until like a week before WonderCon. So I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh
well,
crap, Jim Lee's going to be there." So I took some stuff for Jim Lee to sign, but there was no way I was getting into his line. It's crazy.
Discovery Base says check out the Hulk cosplay photo he sent you.
Oh no! You know what's funny is there's one guy who does a Hulk cosplay, and he has this suit built that is pretty awesome. I'm pretty jealous of it.
I think you need to be the Hulk, and you need to fight Reggie as the Silver Surfer.
And they said that you should do Jubilee. Oh yes, that is a wicked Hulk right there, Discovery Bay. That's super cool. I wonder how much time and effort goes into a costume like that. So much.
You
That's
wouldn't think
cool.
much goes into a Hulk. I mean, it's basically body paint if you got the body for it, and then purple jeans, right?
Yeah, well, this guy that Discovery Base sent me it's like an actual suit that he's inside of. And let's see, I'll show you. I can show you the pictures. Like, can you see that?
Oh yeah,
So it's like an actual suit. And then there's another guy, and I think he's based out of London. I've seen some of his Instagram posts where he's got a suit like that also, and those are pretty wicked. Hey, hi, Alea. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by today.
Yep.
Hope you're having a good one.
So is there anything no one has asked you about WonderCon that you would like to share about your first con experience?
Well, it's a lot. It's intense, and I mean, it's not intense in a bad way, but like if you haven't been to one, just be prepared to go through the emotions. You get there, you're nervous, you're excited, you know, your adrenaline's pumping, and it's almost got a little bit of anxiety at one point when you get in there and you see all these people. And then you're like racing around, and then like you're worn out, and then you're trying to get into like your second gear and go back through it and everything, and you're looking through books, and you're like, oh, I found this book. It drained me. And part of that was it took me like 8.5, 9 hours to get there. I was traveling on a train. I was traveling on a bus to get there. And I mean, when you're doing all kinds of stuff like that, I mean, that can wear you out. I'm sure some too. But by the time that I left my house Friday afternoon. My train was delayed like 2.5 hours. So I was sitting out waiting for my train for 2.5 hours. By the time that I got home that Sunday evening, I was worn out. I've been worn out all week. I had to take yesterday off from work just to try to rest a little bit. So I know it's fun. It was super fun, and I wouldn't trade it all for the world. I'd do it all over again. But like it will take a lot out of you. I feel
do
like.
not go to work the next day, or if you work third or second shift the day you come back. That is a bad idea.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I made that mistake before.
I had to be at work Monday the next morning too. I was supposed to take it off work, but we had a bunch of crap go on the week before at work and ended up being shorthanded, so I needed to work. So, but yeah, no, it was definitely a good experience, but there's a lot. It's a lot more than I expected, but in a good way, you know, for sure.
Well, let's see. Is there anything else we should talk about, or you think that's pretty much got us for this week?
I think that's pretty good. If anybody in the chat's got any questions, real
Yeah,
quick.
if anyone in the chat wants to ask him a question or anything, shout it out. Let's see. I know we're going to have Bueller. Hopefully, it should work out next weekend. No clue what we're going to talk about, but he's just fun to talk to anyway.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
And then the next week, hopefully, we'll have Delphia and KomiKHAN. And then I don't know what that would be the next week. Oh, wait a minute. When is Easter? I'm so bad.
Yeah. What? I don't even know. Is it the third Sunday? So that'd be is it the 21st? Or is it the 28th? I don't know. Let's see. Let's Google it.
Sunday, April 21st. So that would be.
So we should try to take that day off, I think.
Well, we would have to. I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, it works out good then. So then
we got
the following Sunday, the 28th, would be maybe Delphia and KomiKHAN.
Yeah, the 28th. We'll I'll get with you on Instagram and all, and we'll iron that out later. But it would be the 28th. The 14th is Bueller, or should be Bueller. He might have something come up. I don't know. But the 21st, we'll have to break again because I won't be here.
That's fine. That's
I have
cool.
Church stuff to do.
Absolutely.
Well, all right then, man. I had some fun. Make sure everyone does. Oh, look at that! Everyone's helping us out. It's 21st.
Yeah, oh gosh.
But make sure everyone checks out Discovery Bay Comics to know what's coming on next. I know there's an auction, and I think Bake the Snake or somebody has something they're doing once we end. I forget who that is. Go ahead and put it in the chat, whoever you are that's going live as soon as we end. And, hey, Boatwright come in. I don't know if we shouted him out. Hey,
hey, good to see you, Boatwright. Thanks for joining us.
So anyway, I'll give a few minutes for whoever that was to shout their channel out there. And then I guess we'll see everybody next weekend then.
Yeah, for sure.
So I learned by accident that you have 7 minutes when a show ends that you can still be in the chat.
Oh, wow.
I was watching Fire Guy Ryan really late one night for no reason other than I was up. and he ended his stream, and I decided to sit there and start chatting in until I was, kicked out, and it was about 7 minutes, and then I was kicked out.
That's
So
funny.
anyway, thanks everybody for coming.
Appreciate you guys.
And
Thank you.
looks like it's NYC.
Yeah,
Who's
at
going
noon.
live, and Rican is at 1 Pacific.
All right.
So, Jeff, thanks for stopping by. Chat, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys later.